This is the tuning knob after it's been cleaned. If you recall the state it was in, it and all the other adornments, it's completely different. All these controls were filthy. Now what you see there, although it might look a little dull, some of those marks are actually the labeling on there. This thing is now good as new. They've all been cleaned with deoxit, so the contacts are in perfect condition. They're all working well, and it's all working. The potentiometers have been cleaned and deoxidized and so on. Now the only problem I have here is that one of these faceplates of this knob I can't get hold of. So I won't be able to do that for now, but again, something that might come up in the future, and it's a simple matter of sticking it on there. It's exactly the same as that one, and sometimes these things do come up for sale. I'll get it. The dial is magnificent. It's in perfect condition. It's been cleaned up. There's no cracking, no staining, none of the paint is chipped off. It's in very, very good shape. Put this on. The two dial lamps work. They've been replaced. Both of them were burnt out. And an actual bonus, which I'm not sure we're going to be able to see too well here, is that the tuning eye is actually working. If I can get rid of all these contrasts on here. How am I going to do this? Alright, there we go. The tuning eye actually works. It's a little dim. It's quite aged, but it works perfectly well. And it's pretty responsive. So that was a bonus. I wasn't expecting that to still be alive. You can see perfectly well with normal light. This is all lit up in here, and daylight and everything else. So, you know, if this is in a darker room or in the evening, it'll work fairly well. The other thing is that as far as reception is concerned, this is brilliant. You get very good sound. FM is very, very clear. The other thing that I noticed on this radio is that the positions on the dial correspond pretty well to the actual frequencies. So that means no RF alignment is required. On FM, it was just a question of moving the actual pointer along the string a little bit, because the deviation at the end of the dial over there was the same as the beginning, which tells us that you just have to take this pointer inside and shift it. It was like 1 centimeter to the right, and it started corresponding both on the right and on the left. As regards the AM bands, they are actually pretty accurate as well. I've put it into shortwave. Get rid of the bass. Let's put it on SP for speech. It was on hi-fi, which gives us a better bass response, and it widens the bandwidth. So when you want to tune more accurately, you put it on speech, which reduces the bandwidth. It's on mono, so nothing else is selected. And let's see what we get here. Put the volume up a little bit.
Europe and the United Kingdom can listen to us on 7,500 meter band, 9,900.
The other thing is that the Magic Eye also works very well on shortwave.
Any external shocks after weakening nearly 4% January. Usually high corporate dollar demand, the CD has remained firm in recent weeks. Coming back to South Africa, power utility from Tracy has set aside more than $5 billion to fund it.
So, we have a very, very sensitive shortwave receiver here. The medium wave works well. Obviously, we don't get much out here. We get one Portuguese channel and a couple of channels from the Canary Islands. Long wave, forget it, we don't get anything. So there's no point even trying that, but it is working. Everything is working. And overall, and the FM the sound is brilliant. It's fantastic. Very rich, very warm, and very powerful actually. It's a sort of tone that you put it on and it fills the whole room. You don't have this tinny sound coming from one corner, which is what you normally get with modern receivers, or those smaller receivers. So this is the kind of radio that someone could actually use on a daily basis to listen to music on FM or anything else they want. And also, if they choose to put in an outdoor antenna, a long wire antenna like I have here with a small balun, that's the kind of shortwave that I've just demonstrated. It's very lively on shortwave right now. Sometimes it's not, but it is right now. And this reception is very, very clear. Selectivity is very good. Sensitivity is very, very good. Surprisingly good. But I've been surprised enough with these radios to know that it's becoming normal. And overall, this is a very satisfactory renovation slash restoration. So I like it. I like it a lot. It is, of course, within the normal frame of my experience, the German radios, which is kind of strange for someone who doesn't speak German at all. So sometimes reading the spec sheets and reading the instructions is a little bit difficult when you can find them. But, you know, 50s and 60s, early 60s tube radios is what I really like restoring, and the German ones have given me the most satisfaction to date. Alright, so we'll just have a look at what's been done on the cabinet, and I'll show you the final result. And here we have it, complete radio. It's working brilliantly.
E tive uma excelente surpresa com uma banda nacional que são os Keep Razor Sharp, que eu acho que todo o público ficou tipo de boca aberta, porque foi mesmo muito bom, muito bom. Outra particularidade nesse festival, a segunda banda a atuar foi
As you can see, it's all been cleaned up.
Exatamente. E no meio do concerto agarrou na sua guitarra e jogou para o mar.
The trim is polished, shiny. All the piano keys and the trimming on the edge, the cream trim, is all being cleaned up. Cleaned up pretty well, actually. If you look at that knob and compare it to what it was before, there's just no comparison. These have also been all cleaned up. And so, overall, I'm very, very happy with the result. The grill cloth was cleaned as well. There's still a little bit of staining, but that's impossible to get rid of. This thing is from 1959. I believe the date and one of the stamps inside is September 59. So it's quite old. Certainly older than me. And as far as the cabinet's concerned, You can see the edge patina on it, but it's in very, very good shape. It looks brilliant. This look is really great on radio like this, especially when there are no nicks or chips out of it. This is just normal aging on the lacquer. Looking at the back, everything cleaned up inside. Obviously all the work that was done is internally. This is the one tube that is very, very weak. Everything else works great. FM section over there, Faraday antenna. You have to be very, very careful when you clean this because it's so easy to tear one of those wires out, and it's a nightmare to repair it afterwards. Dye lamps both working. Speakers have been cleaned up. Unfortunately, the cap on those speakers was impossible to repair. The plastic is actually dried and it's impossible to bring together, but it's fairly solid, so that shouldn't be a problem. The backplate is also in perfect condition, with the dipole and internal dipole antenna coming out of there. So for most general use, this would be the antenna you'd be using just to pick up FM. And then if you want to receive some of the AM stations, you've got an earth and an external antenna socket in there. Over there you've got the upper one is the pickup, stereo pickup, and the one below is the tape deck, recorder, external speaker selection, deactivated at the moment, but you can activate them as well. As you can see, this thing's got very few tears or chips or marks on it. It's aged, but really, really beautiful. So that's it for now on this one. Comments. Well, this is a particularly difficult radio to recap because everything is very, very close together. And this being a 1959 model, it is stereo, so part of the circuitry is duplicated. There's quite a lot of circuitry in here, and a lot of caps. All of them needed to be replaced. And unfortunately, a lot of them are just piled on top of each other. So you have to be very, very careful how you get rid of, how you get them out and replace them, because you can do more damage than repair. So not for the faint-hearted, but certainly an interesting challenge. I would definitely do it again, probably will, often. And this radio should bring its owners a lot of satisfaction for many, many years to come. Bye for now.